Okay, so to go along with our learning, it's going to be like every other week. So we talked about how you're going to use the bad seed. Hold on, let me grab it. You're going to use this book for your learning, but Ms. Bain is going to teach you how to do the work with my book. So my book is going to be the good egg. So I'm going to be doing the work with the good egg and showing you how you do the work, but you're going to be doing it with this book. Okay, so remember, this is the book you're using, The Bad Seed, and this is Ms. Bain's book. So this is the book I'm going to be reading from and doing the work from each day from this book, just to teach you and remind you how you're supposed to do that work every day. So this is The Good Egg. It's from by Jory John. He's the same person that wrote A Bad Seed. And I just think it's appropriate because it's the same author and it's the same kind of book, and they'll go hand in hand when we're doing our reading work this week. Okay, so The Good Egg, here we go. Oh, hello. I was just rescuing this cat. You know why? Because I'm a good egg. A very good egg. It's true. I do all kind of good things, like I carry your groceries, I water your plants, I change your tires, I paint your house. If you need any help whatsoever, I'm your egg. I've always been a good egg. It's been this way from the start, even in my earliest days, back at the store. There were a dozen of us living together under one recycled roof. There was Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelly and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and other Frank. The other 11 eggs weren't on their best behavior. They weren't exactly good. They ignored their bedtime. They only ate sugary cereal. They threw tantrums. They cried for no reason. And they broke their stuff on purpose. Meanwhile, I tried to take charge. I tried to fix their bad behavior. I tried to keep the peace because I was a good egg. A very good egg. No one seemed to care, though. Every night I was exhausted and my head felt scrambled. Then one fateful morning, I noticed some cracks in my shell. Yikes! They were everywhere. My doctor said it was from all the pressure I was putting on myself, the pressure of making sure everyone was as good as me. I was cracking up, literally. Something had to change. I had enough. I told Meg and Peg and Greg and Clegg and Shell and Shelly and Sheldon and Shelby and Egbert and Frank and the other Frank that I was leaving. I can't be the only good egg in the bad carton, I said. Blah, 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 they repeated. I left that night. I wandered from town to town. The hours became days. The days became weeks. I lost track of time. I was alone. But out there on the road, under the stars, I really tried to focus on myself and what I needed. I took walks. I read books. I floated on the river. I wrote in my journal. I found simple moments to be quiet. I breathed in. I breathed out. I even started painting. For once, I found time for me. And guess what? Little by little, the cracks in my shell started to heal. My head no longer felt scrambled. I started to feel like myself again. So I made a big decision. I'm returning to my old carton and my friends. Besides, I'm kind of lonely out here. This time, I know what I need to do. I'll try not to worry so much. I'll be good to my fellow eggs while also being good to myself. Here we go. Everyone missed me. I miss them too. Hello, Meg. Howdy, Peg. Hey, Greg. Greetings, Clegg. What's up, Shell? Aloha, Shelly. Heyo, Sheldon. Hi, Shelby. Good day, Egbert. What's happening, Frank? Howdy do, other Frank. Sure, every once in a while, someone's still a little bit bad, but it's not like before. Here's what I realized. The other eggs aren't perfect, and I don't have to be either. I'm okay with that. Yep, the old carton's back together. We're a solid dozen again. It's good to be home. The end. Okay, so the good egg. I'll be using this week to do our learning with. Bye, guys. I was cracking Shelly and Sheldon and Clegg and Shell and Day 13, and it says, I can summarize by showing I know the characters and events in the story. You're going to use the text, The Bad Seed. So this is the book, The Bad Seed, the text that you're going to be using. And here is a chart that Miss Langley made, so I get it pull up, to help us with summarizing a story. So it says to summarize a story, you need to think about the characters, traits, and wants. What is the character wanting to accomplish in this book? Recap the events using sequence words, thinking beginning, middle, and end. So first, second, third, finally, those kind of words, and putting them in order. What is the problem and solution? So what was the problem in the story and how was it solved? And did the character learn any life lessons, or did I learn any life lessons? So that's how you are going to summarize your story. So I'm going to practice it with a good egg. So here is my, I have my computer pulled up. You can always do your work on a computer and type it if y'all would like. You don't always have to write it, but it's up to you. So this is the one you're going to summarize, and I'm going to summarize the good egg, because if I summarize the bad seed, I'd give you the answers, and that doesn't do you any good. So I'm going to summarize the good egg. So I'm going to change this to my avatar really quick so I can type. And we are going to think about what happened in this story. So first I want to introduce the story when I summarize it, because I don't know, the person I might be summarizing it to might not know what the story was. So I'm going to put in the book, The Good Egg, comma, the egg is always trying to be good. Okay? Because that's the truth. In the book, The Good Egg, the egg is always trying to be good. He does everything right and tries to help his carton buddies do good too. Okay, so I kind of gave you a summary and told you what kind of character the good egg was. He does everything right and he tries to help his carton buddies do good too. But then I have to think for a second, and I go back and I think, and I'm like, well, what happened next in the book? What was the problem? Okay, so the problem in the good egg, if I go back through it and flip and look, the problem is that he is so stressed about trying to help everybody out in the book that eventually he starts to what? You can see it? Yeah, he starts to crack. He's like freaking out and cracking. So I need to write that down there. That's the problem in the story. I've got to make sure I put that in my summary. Okay, so we can put the egg gets so stressed with trying to make everyone be or do good that he starts to crack. Okay? Then what happens next in the story? Then he decides it's best for him to leave the carton. Okay? So he leaves the carton. And what happens after he leaves the carton? Well, he leaves and he goes out on his own and he just does things for himself. He relaxes and takes care of himself. can you think of a leader in me term that we use to take care of yourself, to do something good for you? Do you know what it is? Sharpen the saw. Yeah, and so I'm going to put that in there because I think that's really cool that I can add a leader in me term in there. So I'm going to put the good egg goes off by himself and sharpens his saw. Eventually, which is another transitional phrase you can use, eventually he starts to heal. But there's still another problem. What happened? What's wrong with him? He's healing, he's good, he's all by himself, but he's what? Yeah, he's lonely. We need to put that. However, he is lonely. So he decides to go home to his carton. Okay, so he goes home to his carton and he realizes that he can't fix everybody. Can't just keep fixing everybody. He has to kind of just let them be them, okay? And not worry so much about what's going on. So he finally goes home and tries not to worry so much about the other eggs. Okay, so he learns not to worry so much about the other eggs, and he's okay with that they're not perfect. He's just glad to be home, okay? He is just glad to be home, okay? So the last part of that was, it says, Miss Langley tells us that we recap the problem and solution. There was a problem, he was cracking, he goes home, he goes away, gets it fixed. But we have to answer this question. Are there any life lessons that the character or yourself learned? What can we learn from this story? So we can say, I learned that you shouldn't stress so much about others, and you should, hold on one second, go answer the door. All right, so I learned that you shouldn't stress so much about others, and you should just be happy with who your family is. Listen, we all know we have a bunch of crazy people in our family, don't we? We have some cracked eggs, we got some silly eggs, we got some crazy eggs, we have some really nice eggs. We all have different people in our family, but that's what makes us a family, because we're all different. So just be happy who your family is and love them in the end. Okay, so you are going to do the same work with the bad seed. You are going to tell me about the story. Tell me about the character. What kind of person was the bad seed? What happened in the beginning, the middle, and the end? What was the problem in the story, and what was the solution? And is there anything that you learned at the end of the story from the bad seed? Is there a lesson that you've learned? And you put that into your summary, and that's what you do. If you have any questions, let me know, and